People are finally waking up to the fact that, well, they're waking up they're at least to the point to say that the United States is gone. I see a lot of people saying this, but they're just now believing that it's gone because something has happened that they believe in some way, shape, form, or fashion affects them directly. Until it affected them directly, they didn't care. They are still calling people socialist when we are we're further into communism now than socialism, and I know not all people see that, but it's the truth. Our society is occupied and kept in control by an authoritarian it's an authoritarian government, which soon will be totalitarian. You will do as we say or else. Doesn't matter if you're a moral person, immoral person, it doesn't matter. You will do as we say or else. And now they've even taken it a step further, as we've seen in some societies throughout history, where the criminals rule the roost. And what I mean by that is that they know that laws they create, like for example, this pistol brace bullshit, they know that that's not going to affect anybody who plans on committing some kind of evil act. But they're going to do it anyway because it's the next step. It's the next, death by 1,000 cuts. We're in cut number 996 or something now. And that's the intent. They knew that if they just outright ban all guns, that there might be a possibility that people would finally wake up to what's going on and throw a finger up to the government and say, screw you, we're going to live our lives, and you're going to leave us all alone. But if they do it incrementally, and they only touch you a little bit, or they don't touch you at all while touching others, then they know you won't do nothing. So, and I've spoken about this before, it started with the violent felons. At one time, it was only violent felons that were prohibited by government to exercise their natural rights. And what does that mean? You will do as we say or else. Doesn't matter if you have evil intent. Doesn't matter if you didn't commit a crime, which I know that to be a felon, you've had to have committed a crime, but allegedly you paid for those crimes, or you should have. You should have paid your debt to the family, not society. That's another video. It's going to continue. Nothing can stop it now. Nothing. The train is on the track, and we're picking up speed, and we're looking at the cliff ahead. We're looking at the big canyon this train is about to drive off the tracks into, and we're all just like, that'd be okay. We'll have some like Back to the Future type shit where we hit 83 miles an hour or whatever it was. And was it 83? What was it? What was the mile per hour for the Back to the Future car? 88 miles an hour, that's what it was. And we'll be on some new railroad and we're all happy and shit and alive. No, it's not going to how it's going to happen. We are going to make it through our lives pissed off, but relatively unscathed. Most of us, and I know that you're not going to care unless you're part. As long as you're part of that most of the few is the problem. You see people say, well, this is unenforceable. Well, it doesn't have to be completely enforceable. They just have to get the few. And if you're one of the, well, this is not enforceable people, well, then raise your hand to take up their time so they leave other people alone. So if you raise your hand to go first, then the person that was going to be first no longer has to go first. He can be like second. He can buy a little more time to his family and shit before they cart him off to some government cage and kidnap him and rob him of his life, which they've done millions of people, and nobody has stopped them yet. Nobody will stop them because, again, it doesn't affect them. So, until people start caring about what doesn't affect them, be ready for more. That's all I can say. Be ready for more. It will never stop. Nothing can stop it. All the bitching and moaning is not going to stop it. All the voting is not going to stop it. Blaming the Democrats isn't going to stop it. None of that shit's going to stop it. Enforcement has always been the problem. It's never been the rule makers that have been the problem. It has always been the order followers, the law enforcement. Every atrocity in the history of governments committed to the societies that they govern has happened at the hand of that government's law enforcement. Period. Since the beginning of governments. Yet, here we are in a country that praises law enforcement. You tell me.